Okay, today we are gonna test a grilled cheese theory I've had for a long time. For some reason, I've never gotten around to doing it. We're gonna test it against classic grilled cheese, and then I'm gonna do like a combo of both. So we'll taste 3 together with 3 kind of different techniques. I'll tell you which one I think is the best. We're gonna go to the grocery store. We'll come back here, we'll do the prep, and then we're just gonna take all of our prep down to the ocean, start a fire, and cook the grilled cheeses there. It's like super nice out. We need to get some sunlight. It rains a lot here in Vancouver. Yeah, that's it. Let's get started. The ingredients. What I'm gonna do is make a classic Mornay sauce, which is a French cheese sauce. I already got this on the heat, but it's just starting to warm up. 4 tablespoons of butter. And then usually they say like pretty equal parts, around equal parts, but I'm gonna do a tiny bit more flour because I want it to be really thick so that it doesn't make the bread soggy on the grilled cheese. So normally you wouldn't make it too thick, but I'm gonna try and make it really thick. So I'm gonna use 4 to 5 tablespoons of flour. Okay, so the butter's foaming. So I'm just gonna, eyeball my flour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you immediately want to just try and whisk this together. And you want to cook this for about 2 to 3 minutes. You don't want the butter to brown, but you do want to cook the flour. And I can actually use a little bit more flour. I'm gonna go like, maybe another, I think mine were small tablespoons. There we go, that's what we kind of want, this like cakey consistency. Now I'm gonna slowly add my milk. So at the beginning, it's very important that you go slow and you want to whisk constantly. Work this in. If you add too much too fast, you'll end up with lumps. There we go. Now I can add all my milk because all the lumps are gone. I'm gonna add, how much is this? A liter? Should be a liter, right? Yeah. So what I do, 4 tablespoons butter, 5 tablespoons of flour, and then half a liter of milk. Now that we add all that, it's gonna seem quite watery. And it will thicken as it cooks. It's very important as it cooks. We're gonna let it cook for about 10 to 15 minutes so it reduces slightly. Very important that you don't do this over too high of a heat. What happens is flour is actually heavier than the liquid. So even though it's like emulsified and all broken up, it will have a tendency to fall to the bottom, and if it scorches at the bottom of your pot, it will taste like burnt flour, so your sauce will be ruined. So you don't have to like baby it, but just make sure if you're doing it over a medium heat that you're checking it periodically, and when you're whisking it, you're feeling the bottom to make sure that that pot is smooth. At this point too, I will season it. A little bit of salt, half an onion, and I'm just gonna keep it big because I'm gonna strain it out of the sauce after. I just wanna kind of perfume our sauce with some onion and garlic. So I have 2 garlic cloves that I just smashed there. It's important that you smash your garlic cloves so that you break those cell walls and will actually release that garlic flavor into the sauce. So yeah, it'll come up to a simmer. We'll turn it down to a very low simmer, periodically stir this, 10-15 minutes, and then we'll add our cheese. This is my favorite microplane. What? How did that happen? Fuck, it's so uncomfortable now in the hand. That's good. I don't eat a lot of cheese, so today's a treat, I'm gonna be feeling it later, no doubt. Maybe I'll take you guys along for the ride later when I have diarrhea.
Shut up.
So I grated all my cheese. I used 2 different cheeses here. Same size brick for size reference, because obviously I didn't measure a thing. Mostly just a nice aged white cheddar, a strong white cheddar, preferably if it says old on the package. A little bit of some smoked aged white cheddar, just to give it a little bit more depth, and like a little bit of smokiness is nice. And our sauce has been cooking for a while now, and you can see it's really thick. Now, if you were making a classic cheese sauce, like if you were like, whatever, I don't know, you were getting judged on this, or you were in culinary school, and you give a cheese sauce this thick, they'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Because of the application, I want to make it very thick because I don't want it to make our bread soggy. So I'm just gonna strain that garlic and onion out. You don't really have to strain it. I mean, you could just pick out the onions and garlic if you can find them, but we're strained. Look at this beautiful sauce. I'm gonna put this back in the pot. I should have given you a warning for that a little bit. on low heat now so that we can work in this cheese. It's still really hot, obviously, and the heat's on, so I'm just gonna very slowly start adding some cheese. You do not want to do this over high heat or even medium heat, to be quite honest. If cheese gets too hot, especially something like a cheddar, what happens is it actually breaks, it splits, and then your cheese sauce will end up with this huge layer of fat on top of it. So we need it to stay emulsified. So you just need to work slowly, and you can't get cheese too hot or it'll break. We'll just have a taste now and see where we're at for salt. It's pretty good. A little bit more salt. I would put this on the saltier side just because the application is bread, and bread can take a fair amount of salt. It's okay if this is leaning on the side of a little bit more salty. If you were just cooking this with like pasta and the pasta is cooked with salt in the water, then I would say go on the less salty side. I'm gonna put a little bit more black pepper because I did accidentally strain some out. Whoops. With dairy sauces, especially this happens to, but also like any thick sauce, if I just put this in the fridge like this, you'll get a skin on top. To prevent the skin on top, especially because we're gonna transport this, you can just put some saran wrap and you just wanna press it up against the sauce. And then there's no air to create that skin. So you're protecting the sauce. It'll be cool by the time we get down to the ocean. That's the cheese sauce, and I'll show you guys the rest of the sandwiches at the beautiful ocean. That's how you fucking do it. All right, we're gonna do the first grilled cheese, which is just the classics. This is it. This is the absolute classic. We know this one, we love this one. That was good. So this one's gonna be all our cheese sauce. Truly huge moment because I've been thinking about doing this for literally years. Oh my god, if it sucks, I'm gonna be fucking devastated. The bread didn't go soggy, that's for sure. Jesus Christ. Everything I wanted it to be happened. Like, it's ooey gooey, luscious, rich. I think like making it that thick was key. I gotta save the rest of this one for you because it's so good. We're gonna combine the classic and ours. So it'll have some sliced cheese and it'll have our cheese sauce. My theory is that that one will be the best, but who knows? Okay, hello. All right, this is it, the hybrid. Before I eat it, I will say I ate both of the other ones, and as much as the cheese sauce one was fucking amazing, don't get me wrong, but I still think the classic was better. But this will be the best of both worlds, I think. I always put way less cheese sauce on this one, so I think that will be perfect, because that one was messy. As suspected, this is the one. Holy fuck, that's messed up. This is the best grilled cheese I've ever had. Like, hands down. If I would rate them, in third place, I'm gonna give the all cheese sauce one because I think I put way too much cheese sauce on that one. And it was almost, you know, by the time you get halfway eating, it's like bursting out the sides and it's like, it was almost too messy. Maybe if I cut it in half and like had it at home when we weren't cooking outside, it would be higher. Second place, I'm putting the classic. Can't go wrong, amazing. And then the first place, like without a doubt, hands down, is the combination. That was like the perfect amount of cheese sauce. I think like a thin layer. It's like really ooey gooey, but it still has the bite of the sliced cheese. And good bread, lots of butter. How can you go wrong? That's the best of the best. That's a grilled cheese. Kimberly, eat this sandwich now. All right, fuckers. Hello. That's it for the video. I've just been wanting to test that theory for a really, really long time. And I hope that that inspires somebody to be like, hey, if you have basic skills, like learning to make a Mornay sauce, how creative you can be with it. You know, when you have these like base skills of cooking, you can get really creative because you have tools in your toolbox. And if you don't, you're just kind of just following recipes versus like picking out your tools as you see fit and getting creative and making your food the best tasting for you. So appreciate you guys watching, and if you like this video, you know what to do. Do any of the YouTube stuff, it really helps me out. Whether you do or do not do any of those things, I'll see you guys in the next video next Sunday. Thanks. I take back what I said. I'm sitting with this love hangover. Boy, it's hurting my head. It's the middle of October, and we just came to an end. I'm just sorry, but there ain't no time left. You and I were starting fires with wet wood is so easy. Check this shit out. With us, no.
One is not